Yeah. Well,
choose.
it works. It works. And the good news is that technically you do get an extra 15 minutes as well. So, um,
No.
yeah. So I mean, I got to fill my quota here. It's an hour and 15. So it's an hour and 15. So, all right.
Okay.
Well, how you been? How's practice been?
Quite nice actually. I've played a lot of Sombra before, and I reached, I think, what I can reach on Sombra with the amount of time I can invest. I was like Diamond 1, I think, at one point. But then I
Yeah.
started to hit a wall, and then I over time got so bored in playing Sombras that I thought maybe I tried tank a bit. I never played that much tank before,
Mm.
and so at the moment I'm trying to get into tank a bit more, Zarya especially.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Congrats on the Diamond one. I mean, obviously that's like you're really up there, like the top 3 or 4%, um, which is great. Like good for you, and I hope that you were able to feel some sort of satisfaction. What did you think about the rework, the
I
other
think
rework?
it at first it was at first it was a bit strange, but then I actually started to like it because you could put out a bit more pressure.
Yeah.
And we talked about decision to hack or not to hack, and that basically has gone out of the window 80% of the time because you do much more damage if you hack. That
Yeah.
works for me at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I still think there's some choice in there too, because the question is, can you get the hack off? Still, is there right?
Mm.
So yeah. Okay. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that that was a relatively successful journey. Certainly so. And now on to tank, and you said Zarya specifically.
And as I saw that it really helped doing the coaching with you on Zomba, I thought I'd try Saya as well.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, sounds good. Why Zarya? Just shooting stuff fun? Or what?
Uh, yeah, okay. Pew pew.
Yeah,
No, I
yeah.
think a good friend of mine plays a lot of Saya, and I started to play other because of that. And I really enjoy playing her. She's
Mm-hmm.
brittle after she used her cooldowns, but she also can pump out a lot of damage. And to balance that is fun. But
Yep.
I'm in a fight after the first 10 or 15 seconds, everything gets so hectic. I just tend to basically, oh, bubble is up. Yeah, bubble. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
try to get into a bit more awareness when to use it
yeah.
and what
Makes
to do
sense.
with it.
Makes sense.
Because
Makes sense.
otherwise I stay in front of a tank, shoot the tank all the time. That feels not really productive.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that there are certain limitations to what the character can reach and can shoot. Like if you count the number
Yeah.
of Overwatch 2 tanks that have limited range and limited mobility, there's not many of them, right? Like I think I'm looking at it right now. I guess Roadhog, you got your ranged hook. Like Zarya is definitely the outlier. Like you have alternate fire range, but oftentimes you are kind of limited with what you can reach, even with that alternate fire, right? So I think Zarya is, this is a weird way of framing it, but bear with me, the most healthy tank buster, the most skillful tank buster, because that's really what you are. It's not meaning that you're only shooting tank or that you should be prioritizing shooting tank, but that's often the only thing that you can shoot. And I think the way that you think about your bubbles is kind of what you said there at the end, which is like, what do I do with the bubble? If you, as long as you have a purpose with the bubble, then I think it's a good bubble most of the time. As long as you're taking
Mm.
action as a result of the bubble, whether doing more damage, peeking, pushing, kiting, disengaging, whatever. So
I think
I anticipate a lot of our discussion on bubbles today will probably be about, is there action tied to the bubble, right?
Yeah, and I already watched that review and I saw that it's
Mm-hmm.
really chaotic. But I think what I concentrate on at the moment after this what review took place, I started to pay more attention to the bubbles and also
Yes.
when I have a low target, then to right click melee to do that more often
Yes.
because I
Yes.
don't do that as much.
Yes, yes, yes. Basically, Zarya, the game plan is always very simple, but you need to do all the details correctly. You need to know when
Mm.
to alternate fire, when to beam, when to use your animation cancels, when do you finish your ammo with that alternate fire,
Yeah.
when do you graviton surge, when do you time your bubble, who do you aim for, right? All of these, like, because there's so little choice that you have with your positioning, there's so much priority on your mechanics and using or managing your cooldowns appropriately. So we'll take a look at
Yeah,
that.
understood.
Now, where are you at rank wise right now?
Plat 2, that was at
Plat
the
2.
code.
Okay. Where did you start, I guess, and when did you start your journey? I know we coached and talked about Sombra a few months ago, but where did you
Yeah.
start the Sombra or the Zarya journey officially?
I think placements was gold 1 or
Okay.
something, and then
Yep.
I have played from then on up.
Okay. Sounds good. And when was that? This past season?
3 weeks,
Okay.
I think.
So not long. So not long. And some small
Not
improvement.
that
Like,
long, no.
so let's say, even though I'm sure gold 1 is not really where you were at, you're probably more of a low plat tank. You still made a little bit of improvement, right, in the last couple of weeks. So that's good. What have you learned with Zarya since you've applied yourself? I mean, you talked about some familiarity with maybe one of my sessions or two. So you kind of had some ideas, I'm sure, of what you needed to be doing going in.
I think what happens a lot is I play Zarya, and the first 1 minute of the fight goes well, and then people say in the other team probably pick Reinhardt, it's Zarya, and then then they go Reinhardt, and then I have to really watch out for Reinhardt in charge and somehow get value even with the shield and so on, and that gets really, sometimes it works if the enemy tank is not the best in the world, but it gets really annoying after a time, and then I switch to something else. So,
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're gonna fix that. I think I look at Zarya and I think
I hope that is one of the things I really
right.
hope that you can give me an idea or a route to play Zarya even against a good Reinhardt or whatever.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. I don't think there's a tank that really hard counters Zarya. I think with Zarya, the problem is almost always exclusively the map. And usually maps where you are unable to reach targets. I think everyone talks about Circuit Royale, they're snipers, you can't really reach them. That's sometimes a problem, but honestly, there will often be a tank that you can at least trade on, right? In fact, I've talked recently about how if I don't have snipers as a Sigma on Circuit Royale, Zarya is my worst nightmare because I can't trade with her. Like, I can't, it's miserable, right? The problem with Zarya is often more times maps like Gibraltar. Dorado, second point, right?
Yeah.
Maps where the verticality and the range of the map is like a 1-2 punch. Like, you can deal with maps with high ground. You can deal with maps with long sight lines. But if a map has both, you're in serious trouble, right? And I think you have to be really, really creative. I think you need to try to force engagements on high grounds. You have to go for riskier plays, or you play incredibly resource light and basically just don't take any damage, so that your DPS and supports can do whatever they want, and you just kind of force cart and build a grav once per 5 or 6 minutes, I mean, that's really your choice, right? Like, you need to kind of go for either extreme or you need to swap, right? And that would be, even if they were on Orisa or something like that, potentially, like, you might still need to swap. So what I would like to look at is maps where at least it's not a bad map in theory, but you struggled in the matchup. Now, I know the codes were wiped last week, so I'm hoping that you still have a few codes that come to mind.
Yeah, I have one where I think I played not that well, and it's Esperanza, or what it's called. So it's a large, wide-ranged map.
Yeah, but still should be doable with Zarya, right? So it's perfect. Yeah. It's a difficult map, but it's not an impossible map.
Okay.
Last thing here, and obviously this isn't our first coaching session, but we've had a lot of discussion with Sombra about training routine and so on, practice and so on. Have questions come up since then about tank? Because it's been several months. Anything in particular?
I think I sometimes are not sure how to get people to do what I want when I think, because if I join voice chat, it's always really annoying, and so I'm trying to stay out of voice chat and text chat. And so if I think, now I'm going to do this, and I just press my graviton search is ready, and people still don't pay attention to it, then I think, maybe I should do something else.
Yeah. Focus on, this is going to be obvious, but focus on yourself. I think there's a certain, something about Zarya's kit. I think it's like the fact that there's that Overwatch 1 connotation with the kit that lends itself towards looking outside of yourself for solutions, right? I want to bubble my DPS to go in. I want to peel for my backline with bubble. When we talk about like ultimate combos, it's Graviton Surge. Everyone, right? Like, Grav Blade, Grav Dragon, Grav this, Grav that. Everyone thinks Grav this, Grav. But if you rely off of that, you're going to be disappointed. If that's something that you can communicate, then I think it's good. But the reality is that Graviton Surge, it's a good ultimate just by itself, right? So, I mean, we'll talk more about it. But my goal is to be able to give you some responsibility and some solutions that don't mean that you have to feel like I have to babysit or I have to do this or I have to do that. Because I think that could be a really toxic and frustrating thing. Because even say in your forum, you talk about like tank burnout, right? Is that what we're talking about here? This kind of frustration or what?
Yeah, it's because you have always this switching going on, and people always hate on tanks. That is really frustrating sometimes.
Yeah,
and then I have to do something else, and then after like 5 minutes of YouTube, I go back and then play another 2 games or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, you've heard me talk about breaks. You know, get off the PC, get off the computer.
Yeah, exactly,
Obviously,
exactly.
You talked about team chat, you talked about voice chat, and avoiding those. You know, I think it's just knowing the limitations of what you can provide, and I guess we'll talk more about that. Let's just get into the code here. Send me what you got.
Yep.
You said Esperanza, so that's going to be a good one to look at.
Yeah, just copy. Yep.
Lovely. Okay.
I even made some notes.
Nice. Well, talk me through your notes first. Let's go through your notes first.
My notes are, I think I played okayish, but the team was totally chaotic and spread. One Anna was going after a tracer. I wrote bird, which is probably Echo, was dying all the time. So that's what I wrote down.
Okay. So basically, as fights spread, you probably felt yourself more and more overwhelmed with what to do. And it's funny because I'm even looking at this. You make that swap to Malga, which, you know, it is the right swap if you're going to counter swap Ramatra. If I look at the enemy composition, the Ana is a bit of a problem, so you need to be careful with her. But beyond that, I don't think there's really anything. I guess Sojourn Ana is a bit tricky to pick on Malga into. But it's not a terrible swap. He's okay in this map as well. But ultimately, you pick this to play Zarya, right? So what do we need to do to play Zarya better? The biggest thing with Zarya is you need to do damage. You need to constantly do damage while taking as little damage as you possibly can. That could be on anything. If it can be on squishies, you're going to do so on squishies. But because you're so limited with your range and with your mobility, as we talked about earlier, the best thing you could do is find a corner and start pumping out damage, start pumping out pressure. The best thing that you can do with your bubbles, and I know you've seen the video, but I think it bears repeating of what I'm going to expect from you, even at mid to high plat, is bubbles are always tied to action. And there's 2 types of action, okay? One is your action, you walking forward, you peeking and shooting, you directly choosing to engage, take space, or take an engagement on the enemy team. Tank, DPS, backline, doesn't matter. You got me? The other thing is if the enemy team chooses to engage or take space or pressure you. So you can either react or you can push with bubble. But you need to force engagements, force action, or be forced upon to get value out of bubble. You never want to bubble just to bubble. And you kind of talked about this earlier in our discussion where as fights evolve and fights get messy, you tend to just kind of bubble whatever, right?
Yeah, I do that a lot.
That's okay. That's honestly like, well, if it becomes a serious problem, I am going to highlight it, of course. However, I'm more concerned about the first 2 bubbles, right?
Okay.
It's like worrying about your positioning mid-fight. Yes, that can be a problem, but I'm more worried about how you set up pre-fight, right? Like when you have time to think, when you're not overwhelmed, what are the decisions that you're making? And those are the decisions we want to focus on as much as we can. Make sense? Okay.
Yep.
So first thing first, we need proximity. We have very limited range. So I'm a little concerned about this rollout. I don't hate it because I can see your intention. What are you doing with this bubble? What space are you trying to close? What position are you trying to attain?
I think at first I want to take the high ground away from the
so you're going here.
And then I saw a lot of people shooting at me, and I thought, maybe the bubble.
Yeah. I think you have to decide, and you need to decide quickly. Your bubble here is being used to take space. This is the correct use of bubble. I'd like you to be shooting at the same time, but that's okay. Like, for example, here, the mechanical optimal way to take this engagement with the tracer is to alt fire first, to front load, to boom, basically alt fire into beam immediately, correct? So that's a micro thing here. Don't immediately open with beam, open with alt fire usually. Make sense?
Yeah, I think I beam 90% of the time.
Right? Well, and see, this is what we talked about with Zarya, right?
Yeah,
Limited
yeah,
positioning choices, limitless mechanical choices. Okay, so
yeah.
first things first here, we could full commit with double bubble here. I'm okay with that. Would we die? Maybe, but you would get a lot of value out of your death. It's a high risk, high reward playstyle. You choose not to, that's fine too, but then you need to immediately back off to a cover and not stand here. So you're doing damage with this. I don't hate it, but I need you to find a corner. I need you to find a corner now. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So this is where I like to call bubbles being priority on being reactive, not proactive, even when you take action. So tell me what's wrong with this bubble and tell me what's good about this bubble. Let's start with what's good. What's good about this bubble? Are you taking action with this bubble?
I wanted to push the tank, yeah, and then the
You are.
shaker,
I mean, it's
think.
not that you want to push the tank. You are pushing the tank, unquestionably, right? So that's good. Nice job. But if you were to use this bubble slightly better, how would it be done? Just slightly better.
I think bubble later because he
Why?
would keep shooting on me.
Correct, correct.
And if I'm lower, then he will really
Correct.
commit on killing
Correct.
the bubble. Probably.
Bait the commitment, right? You've already used one bubble here, so there's no rush to use that second one. Wait for a commitment. Wait for your HP to drop. Wait for that bloodthirst, as you just described, to kick in, and then use the bubble a little bit later, right? That might compromise a tiny bit of damage that you do right now. That's okay. You want him to commit further. You want to build that charge further. You don't want him to have the option or the temptation to just not shoot at all, like he's doing right now. And see, now you're exposed, right? Now, I know a lot of coaches would talk about how, maybe you're familiar with this, so like, oh, you need to save bubble for accretion, you need to save it for rail. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. That's a detail that's important, but it's not important right now. It's not the fundamentals of Zarya. You need focus on you first, then bubble. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You take action to demand a response, and then you react to that response with a bubble. Like right now, nobody's looking at you, so I just keep shooting. And you see, that's the problem with the bubble, is you bubbled when she's not even looking at you.
Yeah.
Right? So even though the Sojourn's looking at you now you need the bubble, and now you don't have it. So in terms of how you positioned this fight and how you took space with the bubbles, you acted with the bubble, you get an A grade from me. I really like it. Nice job. However, how you took action and then predicted a response without actually knowing if they were going to shoot you at all, you get an F. Bad. Right? So you're halfway there. You're halfway there. Okay? In addition to that, in terms of mechanics, I think the biggest one is just to open with the alternate fires when you swap targets. Just the front load, because remember, you alt fire into beam is immediate, right? As long as you don't stop to beam to alt fire again, your DPS is increased. I'll demonstrate some of that stuff in practice range just to make sure that we're on the same page with that. Like again, there.
I understand. I didn't thought
yeah.
about doing the extra 45 damage or what it is.
Right.
It's true.
It just front loads it, right?
Yeah.
So you are taking action with a bubble. I like this. However, you should not bubble now. Why?
Because nobody is shooting at me.
Nobody's shooting you yet, and you have gobs of HP to play with. So you'll probably bubble in probably about a second, but please don't bubble now. You bubble now. You see it?
Yeah, because I saw that Kiriko had used cleanse, and I wanted to really pressure her and not have to go back.
Correct. But remember, you're taking space for the bubble, A grade. But when you're actually reacting to attention being put on you, that's the F grade here. The push is good. The bubble being used at some point in this push is 100% coming, but not now. Half a second from now. Let the Sojourn start to shoot at you.
Yeah.
Because look at your charge. You see it?
Yeah.
Every single time. I love the push. I love the fact that you're bubbling and walking. This is why you're not gold, right? But it's not good enough. Like right now, this Ramatra has given you zero reason to bubble. You see it? You have walked forward, not just because you're up one or up two, but because you have a bubble. So you go, if this Ramatra tries to fight back, I'm going to bubble. But the problem is the Ramatra's not fighting back. You see that?
He's blocking. Yeah.
So the reason why this is so important is so that you can continue to shoot. Even if what if he starts to fight back now? What if he starts to fight back?
Yeah,
The Sojourn starts to fight back now. Now you would have to slow down your damage. Like, for example, right now, there might be a hesitancy for you to keep walking forward. There might be some hesitation about, okay, well, first off, you can't even bubble your Echo, right? And it's because you don't have the bubble to keep pursuing. And so your Echo dies, or your Lucio, or whatever dies for that. And you're not building charge. You're always anticipating damage instead of reacting. Don't do that.
Yeah, I'm really scared to not die. Yeah,
Correct. Be proactive with your action and be reactive with your bubbles. Proactive with action, reactive with bubbles. You've done an excellent job on the first thing and a terrible job on the second. Like right now, you are taking action. You have 2 bubbles. I love this. I love this. Do not bubble, 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 do not bubble. This was fine. I mean, I appreciate the attempt. It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
I thought it was worth one tracer gone, but yeah,
it is. I mean, it is, right? And you also saw her use a blink. This was her last blink, I assume, or no, her second to last blink. Okay, so it's okay. Lesson learned. Grabbing tracers is totally fine. Just count blinks. Count blinks, right? Because I mean, obviously, grabbing tank is usually really good too, but not a Ramacho when he's in Nemesis form. This much HP, it's not going to really work. So I think this is okay. Keep shooting. Keep shooting. This, you see the bubble again, right? You see it?
Yeah.
This bubble was okay because you were taking damage. You got nanoed at the same time. It happens. But this bubble here, do not bubble. Walk. Do not bubble and walk. Because that lack of that second bubble here is kind of why you're hesitating here. And that's why you're chronically low charge. Is because you take the right actions. Like right there. This is it. Do you see the difference in that bubble? Look at that. Look at the charge that you got off of that. Right here. Bam. 20. You got a 40 charge bubble. That's your first 40 charge bubble. Nice job. Beautiful done. And what that means is that you lived long enough, you baited them into you and lived long enough so that you might actually win this fight. This is just another one of those mechanical things to squeeze out that alt fire, right? So like right here, you reload at 40 HP or 40 M. Probably shouldn't have done that. And then right there, just pop the alt fire into the beam, right? Same mechanical thing. But again, I am very pleased with your action. Your action is really good. I like how your actions also change depending on whether you have 1 bubble, 2 bubbles, or 0 bubbles. This is really good. It's just that question of timing, right? Okay. Make him earn your bubble, right? So you're going to sit here, use cover, don't peek the Sojourn, and you're going to shoot the Ramatra. You're going to shoot the Ramatra. So this is okay. So this is the first push I've not liked. Okay. I like that you're doing this because you have bubbles, but what's the problem with this engagement right here?
I think they all can see me, and
correct.
My team is not really
correct
in view of me, probably.
Correct. So how do you change this? How do you change your action upon this? Here's a question: what do you benefit from walking forward here?
I think I basically walk forward to get some charge out of the bubble one.
So you're kind of forcing charge, right?
To shoot at me, yeah.
Right. So you're kind of looking big to do big things. Okay, that's fine. What would be a different approach here would be to ask yourself, am I applying pressure right now? Yes. Okay.
To stand on the corner there.
Stand right there.
Shoot from there.
Stand right there. Make him shoot you back. Use the bubble here. Maybe walk forward a little bit, but remember the rule of Zarya is you just need to do damage. That's all. You don't need to pursue anything. Like, you will win this tank trade every time, always, almost without exception. I don't think there's anything, as long as like you're not getting swung on by a Rhine, like you're just gonna keep winning. So just stand here.
That's
if you were to walk forward,
no, go ahead. I always feel the need to do something, but you're right. You can just stand there and do some damage, at least for a while. Yeah.
Yes. See, the thing is there isn't a tank better than Zarya than standing here and doing damage and taking a favorable HP trade. It just isn't, right? So you just stand here, right? Now, if you were to walk forward, what do you benefit from walking forward here besides being easier to shoot so that you're easier for bubble? You see it?
Like get access to the Kiriko.
Right. So if you were to walk And if you were to force charge, it would not be through shooting this Ramatra, but about actually going for her. Or going for her. Same kind of thing here with the timing of the bubble. You notice that? Your HP is healthy. You have an active beat.
Yeah.
Walk on top of that Kiriko and do not bubble. Just shoot her. Good, 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 good. I see the little tech there. Nice job. Good bubble. You have to back off a little bit because you're down your bubble. That's another alt fire opener right there. If you get that alt fire opener, you might get her.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know if you get her or not, but you get her awfully low. Bubbled in action. And you know, this is more mid fight. We talked about it, right? Like as the fights devolve, it's going to get a bit more messy. That's okay.
But it's good. I've never looked at it that carefully, and I thought, yeah, I do that sometimes, but I do like quite a lot. That's a good point.
Well, you're baiting yourself because you're thinking, you know, with the bubbles anyway.
Damage will come in.
Yes, damage will. I'm taking action, so therefore this bubble must be good. But the answer is that you're almost there, but you're missing the crucial other half, which is you need to actually have the damage come in first.
Yeah.
That's why cooldowns are really good to block with bubble, because you can often see them coming. Like right now, you still don't really have a good reason to bubble. Now, maybe if you walk into the shield, which I think you definitely can, then you pop bubble, right? Yeah, yeah. Oh, now we need a bubble. You know, I mean, this bubble's good too. This bubble's good too. You know, but it's just a little bit of an overextension. I think it's just a question of timing.
Yeah,
there,
he
just a
got
little
nailed.
bit, just a little bit, and he got nailed exactly. I will also say this is more of a matchup detail for you. But while we're talking about matchups here, I know he's low, but once you see Nemesis farm, you really need to take your attention off of this guy if there's something else to shoot. So as soon as you force this Nemesis farm and you see block, bubble the Echo, and then turn your attention to the right flank instead.
Yeah.
Because he'll kill you probably no matter what you do, or live no matter what you do. But that's kind of where you need to be very careful about chasing the dopamine. You know, it sounds good, but he once he's in Nemesis form, he can no longer really be killed. So that's fine. That's an early bubble because you're thinking sleep there, right?
Yeah.
You could still react to that though. Okay. Now let's grab this tracer this time. Okay. Now this is an interesting one, because like, once again, I don't know if you had to force the push here, even with Graph. I think you can just stand here and shoot. You know, I don't mind it because you do force a push, and you do force a bubble, and you do have another bubble. So I think they're probably gonna die here. Good use of your bubbles, more of a response. And this is where you can turn your attention to the Ramatra. But obviously if Kiri's that close, you might as well. Do you feel kind of how like you've lived on the edge here with your bubbles?
Yeah.
And yet I think for the most part, like it's worked pretty well, right? Like I don't think you could be held accountable because your team just doesn't press Q or do anything proper at all, right? Now we could talk about the mechanical aspect of this a little bit more in detail, and we're going to. But I think overall, the bubbles disengagement were at least a little bit more tied to I'm being shot right now. I will bubble myself, right? So let's talk mechanics. We could have just sat here in the corner and shot. I would have preferred us to be better with cover. Let's just put those things to rest. Mechanics. What do you got here? You see it? What's the detail we talked about? I'll slow it down.
You could have opened with a right click into
Correct.
the graph. And then,
Open with alt fire, fresh clip of ammo, alt fire into shots. So you alt fire into beam, and then you honestly can just stay beaming because, yeah, the AoE pressure from alt fire is nice, but you're not going to kill the Ramatra in here, right? You're just focusing down the one target. So alt fire into primary fire. If you want to finish with alt fire there too as well, if you'd like to, that's fine. Finish your clip with an alt fire there, but obviously you get slept, so you don't get the opportunity to. Responsive bubble. Go ahead.
I think finishing with an alt fire, that is something I 1% of the time do. I think that is something I have to work on.
Well, you've got your work cut out for you then, right? Because that's an incredibly important thing to learn, and it's also an incredibly difficult thing to practice. All you really have is the habit of looking in the bottom right and the audio cue, right, that you get, but that can be hard to hear. Now this one is a bit interesting because I think that this push is inappropriate. I understand that you see the Kiriko low, and I respect that, but what rules are you breaking here? When you earn a push like this, what tools do you need?
Yeah, the bubbles.
You know, you need the bubble. You don't have the bubble, and so therefore, unless this Kiriko is 1 and she's not, this is inappropriate. And I know she doesn't have Suzu, and I know that you're aware of the risks here, but I don't think this is a good risk. Let's put it that way. What you need to do here instead is what?
Wait and stay in cover and do damage from there.
That's it. Just sit on the corner here and shoot the Ramatra in the face. Yes, Nemesis form. Force him to block. Allow your Echo to get out. Wait for that next bubble, and then take action. Right? Play around your cooldowns. I like the push. I just don't like the push without bubble. So what ends up happening is, yeah, you don't end up dying for it, but you lose a lot of HP, and then you end up having to bubble on the way out rather than on the way in. You see what I'm saying? Same kind of thing here, just back to the corner. That's fine. Beyond that, I think it's mostly okay. Any questions so far?
I think there's a lot of things I can.
Yeah. Very, very simple though. I think like positioning has been relatively fine, and that's what makes this character nice is that you don't have to think very hard about positioning too much. As long as you have a corner and an opportunity to apply pressure, then you don't need to worry too much about it. Like, this is a bit. I mean, this is kind of crazy, right? Like you're on the flank, but you know you come in with cover, you come in with both bubbles. It's fine. Same thing with opening with alt fire. Same thing with the bubble timing, right?
Yeah.
There's the pressure coming in. You can see it coming in. You can keep going here if you want to. Run down Grandma, maybe. Maybe not. Oh, nice. Too early with the bubble.
Yeah, I thought about sleep now.
Yeah. I think in that matchup, if it's just her, you really should be able to react. You can see the animation. And if you can't react because you're bad, then you need to practice and force yourself to react.
That's probably it.
Right? I would rather you get slept because you were watching her hitbox and you messed up than you not. At some point, you're going to have to practice that skill.
Fair point.
Right? Yeah. You know, I understand mid-fight when things are really hectic. You can't be looking at her all the time, though. But that one, I think, is very important. Good bubble. She's clearly engaged. She's clearly being shot. Good bubble. She's clearly engaged. She's clearly being shot. Really, really nicely done. Okay. Now, I know why you did this.
Lucky.
Yeah,
I was a bit lucky that I got the charge. Yeah.
Well, yeah. The question again is always, am I going to have time to be able to build my bubbles back before the fight starts? The answer is no. You're not. So you're gonna wish you had both bubbles here, right? No matter what charge you are right now, right? You need bubbles now. You need now. Not just to bubble your team, but to actually do damage. Because your lack of bubbles leads to a bad graph. You see it? Because you're not able to take space here without being concerned, and you should be concerned, right? So let's go back to where the mistake happened. And you tell me, where could you have positioned here with 40 charge?
Yeah, on the left. At the corner there, and just shoot at the Ana.
I think this is a little too far forward in relation to the rest of your team, frankly. I would prefer here, or maybe here. If you want an angle, this is fine right here. This is actually really, really good.
True.
This would be really good. And just kind of hold the corner here. And again, just right-click backline. Ramatra walks forward. Start burning Ramatra. If they start to walk forward and you can reach them, then start shooting them instead. 40 charge is fine. You'll get the 100 charge when you need it. Because notice how much charge you have right now and how little you can do with it. Right? That bubble's a bit questionable. Because why? I mean, obviously, right?
Yeah, she has the shield in front of her.
Shield, and there's not even a lot of action being taken off of this either.
I think I didn't even see the shield, so I just said, ah, she goes forward, and give her a shield.
Good alt fire there. Timing the bubble just a little off. You notice that? Just a little off. When would you bubble here? You look at your HP, you see it?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to get shot here, but you need to extend your damage output. Right now, your Ana has nothing to do but heal you. So let her heal you. Take damage. It's okay. Right? Drop to 400 HP. It's okay. Right? Then pop that bubble now. Allow her to heal you back to full. Instead of this, right? Would it change the result of the fight? I don't think so. But it's a consistent habit with you. And then there's the Ramatra swap. Or the Malga swap. Okay. I would like to, if you have another code versus another tank matchup, maybe we could take a look at that.
No, it's the only one I have.
That's okay. That's okay. Let's do some live coaching. You done?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Okay.
I say that so quickly. I have to see if that is possible because
That's
we
okay.
have an internet outage and I'm over an LTE router in.
That's okay. That's totally fine.
Let's try. We'll see. And that sounds like third world country, but in Germany the internet is really meh.
No, it's totally fine. Now, listen, I've got a Spectrum on my end, and it's basically third world internet quality. So.
Okay, so. You can see my screen?
That's so wide. Yes.
Yeah, I have a wide screen.
That's incredible. Looks great.
So.
We could talk a little more about the tank matchup. We have plenty of time, obviously. But for right now, let's just kind of focus on taking action with your bubbles, but waiting to respond to the enemy's response to that action, if that makes sense, before you pop your bubble. So that then you're able to extend your pressure. Let's hope we get a good map here. I mean, it's not a long sightline map, right? So it's high ground, which is not great, but...
The second point is really annoying, I think.
Yeah. But remember with, Zarya, it's positioning simplified. It's just, I do damage, right? I don't care what I do damage on. As long as I can do damage and I have a corner, I'm okay.
It's just, I always feel I can't reach the
yes,
second point high ground on the back.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Saddle up. We got work to do. Hey, how's it going?
Unless I parkour my way around the map.
So what I want you to do for the first one especially is just to do damage, put pressure, take action, be acted upon, and then response with bubble. And in second point, I think we can put a little bit more emphasis on just being creative with your positioning, because that's going to be more challenging. But third point, back to simple mode.
Thanks. Thank you kindly. Thank you.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
All right, let's do some damage. Keep doing damage. Don't worry about your team. Keep doing damage. As long as you're not getting sniped, you're fine. All right, keep shooting.
Yeah.
It's okay. That's why it's important to block those CDs, but that's all right. Keep doing damage. Sure, it's fine. Notice you got charge off of that one. Yeah, Bubble, you can take this. Alright, fall back now. To the next corner. It's okay. Close stuff. So, not bad. Could have been a little bit more proactive with your pressure earlier. Obviously, took some bad cooldown trades with your bubbles, but overall, I think, improvement's not going to be immediate, so be patient with it. Alright, let's do some damage. Okay, maybe not. Hold your corner. Don't push forward. So you're down 2 here, so I want you to back off. Yeah, this is good right here. Yeah, good stuff. Good. Keep doing damage. Keep doing damage. Good. Keep doing damage. Find your next corner. Keep doing damage. Next bubble, I want you to walk forward to the next corner. Alright, let's walk. Bubble when you have to. Keep doing damage. Keep doing damage. Don't back off. Keep doing damage. Yeah, keep doing damage. There you go. Alt fire into that. Play your corner. Chill. Wait for your next bubble. Alright, let's do some damage. And only walk if you have to. Or only bubble when you have to. There you go. Good. Keep doing damage. Keep doing damage. Keep doing damage. Next bubble, I want you to walk forward to the corner. But keep doing damage. Whatever you do, keep doing damage. Figure out the positioning. Wherever you gotta go.
Where the fuck is everybody?
They're all high ground. Yeah, so that's just you lost people and you need to move quickly. Just dying card here. I want you to get a trade if you can. That's okay. So that was very good. That was very good. Like the outside of the end there, that was very good. All your bubbles super high input, super high value.
I think I need to make it a bit louder the next pause.
That's okay.
Okay.
Go right to point. Go right to point and start doing damage.
Yeah.
Good. Good. Now hold the corner. Be cautious. Be patient. Be patient. Nice. Keep doing damage. Good. Keep doing damage. Keep doing damage. Keep doing damage. Alright, I want you to walk and react with bubble here. Walk and react. Yeah. Good. Good. That's okay. It's good. Still winnable here, actually. Yep, good bubble. Stay on point. Keep doing damage and react with bubble. Good. Nice all fire as well. Still winnable. It's good. I mean, you're being much more attentive to your health pool and where the enemy team is like actually dumping damage with your bubbles, and so your bubbles overall have gotten really good value. Aw, that was close. It was close. So maybe we could fish some charge here, but let's go on back out. This might be a little too far forward with where your team is, and I want you to be very careful leaving cover. You're gonna need to bubble her out, I think. So you fish for charge.
Okay. Going into 4 people was not.
Yeah. That's all right. So where's the position you need to be to do damage?
But first, I should wait. Let everybody respond.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. You can start to do damage right now. Where can you reach?
Yeah, okay.
This is too far away. This is too far away. You need to find a way to close distance with cover. So find your corner now. And pop your bubble. So stay in the corner and keep doing damage. So there's a Hanzo to your right. I want you to look at him if you can.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Couldn't get away from.
That's all right. That's all right. You're doing really good for what we're supposed to be practicing. So, just so that you could feel a little bit like you're not crazy, Yeah, that's unfortunate. The reason why things are going wrong here, a couple of things. Mechanics are still a shaky point for you in terms of like comfortably layering in your alternate fire. We don't care if that's the case. We're not really thinking about that right now, obviously. But it's worth pointing that out, okay?
Yeah, and I feel so much under stress because playing with someone in your ear
It's
is,
much more stressful. You'll get used to it, trust me. Don't worry about it. The next thing here is you're doing a very good job responding to damage with bubbles, but sometimes you're walking into the open just to try and make people shoot you instead of just shooting. You don't need to push. There's nothing to push, and so you're kind of walking in the open as a result. That's a big thing, okay? The last thing, and we're not going to worry too much about this one either, is that I find you very tunneled on tank. Sometimes there have been multiple times when there's literally a DPS right next to you for an extended period of time, and you didn't know. So that's something that we're going to need to practice on at a later point in time. But for this fight here, I know you're going to want to leave in 50 seconds. So if your team walks out of spawn, I want you to take one fight before you leave this game, and I want it to be the same exact thing that we've been talking about. Find a corner, do damage, react to their damage with bubbles.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attack.
And I don't want you to get sniped. I don't want you to go left. You're just going to get poked out here. You need to use cover here. Be very sneaky. Find cover, find cover, find cover, find cover. And then now, shoot. You could even just shoot shield if you want to. Just shoot.
Shield? Really? Yeah.
Yeah, yes, of course. You can't shoot anything here. This is not where you want to be. Good use of your bubbles.
Yeah.
So that like, obviously you're down one, so it doesn't really matter that much, but that's exactly what's wrong with your positioning. It's the same mistake you made in second point. There's nothing for you to shoot there, so why go there? Right? I know you're thinking about point and so on. You can go ahead and leave the game here. Go ahead and leave.
Yeah.
But your number one pursuit of positioning is to, I need a position with cover and I could do damage. You don't worry about point. The only reason you needed to go high ground in second defense was because there was nobody on the floor, right? That's it. It's not complicated. So pursue damage, pursue pressure. As long as there's a corner, you're good to go. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, this is going to be challenging. Similar map, right? This is good, but it's not impossible, right? It's not impossible. Third point is excellent for Zarya. There aren't many good Zarya skins. Thoughts?
I have the best one.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, good take. That's the one that I use.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's the one I use. I agree.
I got
100%
flamed
agree.
so much for using it.
I think it's the best one. I really do.
It gives me always a Doctor Who vibe.
Yes, that's actually really good. That's true. That's true. Yeah, like the Cybermen or something, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I would
I
take
would
high.
rather have a Weeping Agent one, but high ground.
Yeah. I don't think a Weeping Angel Zarya would fit exactly. You know who would be perfect for a Weeping Angel? Who do you think? Are you thinking of the same? Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was
Of
thinking.
course.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah. Eccleston, yes or no? Eccleston, Christopher Eccleston, yes or no?
The name says something, but I really don't know who he is exactly. Isn't that one of the Marvel guys? That's easy to say, right?
No.
He's Loki.
No. It's just getting worse.
No?
Just close your mouth
Okay.
and play Zarya. I'm just so disappointed. All right, find your corner. Find your corner and do damage. Yeah, this is good. Good, just keep shooting. Remember, you don't have to push from the corner unless you can't do damage. So right here, just stay right here. And then if you want to walk, do so if they're 1 HP. Just keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting. That map up there. Yeah, there you go. And just stay right here in the corner and keep shooting.
Too early.
That's okay, that's okay. Just keep shooting. Yeah, just keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting. Keep shooting, keep shooting. Now just hold this corner, hold this corner. Good, and I want you to hold this corner here and just keep shooting. I don't want you to push past this corner if you can avoid it. That's okay. Good. Keep shooting. Keep shooting. Hold the corner. So there's a DPS behind you here. That's okay.
Yeah, I thought my team would deal with one soldier.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. So the biggest problem is still like you have a tendency when you have a bubble, you want to walk into the open. I remember your bubbles can be used to push when you need to push. Your bubbles can be used to fight when you need to fight. Your bubbles can be used to kite when you need to kite. But I don't. Bubble does not mean you leave cover for no reason, unless somebody's won. Okay, probably needed that to get there. That's fine. Keep shooting. Find your corner. So I'm just going to get a trade here if you can.
I'm feeling I'm playing so different than I'm used to.
Well, it's because we're putting a lot of emphasis on something, right? React. Find your corner, do damage. Find your corner and do damage. I'm even pivoting a little bit away from the bubble focus right now. I want you to just find your corner and do damage. Okay. Okay. Find your corner. Find your corner. Good. Now you have your bubble. You can move forward if you'd like to. Okay, where's your next corner?
I think this is a corner, is it not?
Do you have a bob though? Maybe you can walk.
Okay. True.
Okay, where's your next corner? Sure. It's a good graph. Oh, oh, nice. Find your corner and do damage. Good. That's totally fine. The only little tidbit I would have here is this is where you can actually take high ground on the bridge and shoot them from above, right? So that's where high ground is useful because you can still shoot them from that high ground. But other than that, it's alright. Might be able to bubble your May. Oh, no. So I would hold this corner here and do damage to the soldier. Very good. Now with your next bubble, maybe you can touch. Good. Hold the corner on point. Hold the corner on point. Be very patient. Good. Stay on point and keep shooting. I see that. Uh-oh. Bad for her. Yep, you're fine. And now do damage. Let's go. You got HP. Let's go. Very good. That Lucio might try to back cap here. Oh, no, he's off of Lucio. I think we're okay. So they're on Rhine here. Nothing changes. Hold your corner and do damage. Just be ready to use bubbles when he pushes you. I need you shooting. Let's go. Shoot, 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 shoot. High ground, lower flank. It doesn't matter where it's at. I guess he's not in Rhine. Never mind. Regardless. Good. Nice bubble. Keep shooting. And then now let's walk with our bub. I need more damage from you on that corner. Good. Walk for it. You have a bubble, so let's walk a little bit.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. You recognize it.
Out of habit.
Yeah, that's okay. You recognize it. Alright, I want you to take high ground here so that you have a little bit more vision of what you could be shooting. High ground here is nice because, like I said, you can do just as much damage because everything's still close. All right. Let's hold this bridge here and just start doing damage. Very good. Nicely done. The high ground worked simply because it was still close, right? If the high ground is way too far away, then you can do whatever you like. But we saw a little bit of the Esperanza of it, but I think there's a little bit of a hesitation sometimes. I think there's two extremes with you. Either you just walk into the open with zero concern for your cover or anything, or you kind of sit in the back and you wait, and you're scared to do damage. And I want to find... I don't necessarily want to say I want to find the balance. I just want to find the proper way. I want you to hold the corner, and I want you to keep doing damage. And then when you see an opportunity to walk forward, or you get pushed, you bubble. That's it.
Mm-hmm. I think it got better the longer because at first and even a second ago, I'm so overwhelmed with knowing people will watch what I'm doing and you in my ear and things happening.
Yes. There's a lot going on at the same time, right? And you did a very good job adjusting into it. It's funny, I had a similar situation when I did some live coaching with a Juno player last week. A lot of things happening. Very complicated. The more we went on, we ended up live coaching for I think like 40 minutes. We got better and better and better and simpler and simpler and simpler.
Yeah, it's at first you don't think that's not really disturbing, but then you do it and then it is.
It's very disturbing, right? Especially with this type of live coaching. It's not as simple as asking where should you position, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Same thing. Pursue damage with cover. Where's your cover? Where's your damage? Now just sit here and do damage. Did you see what the mistake was there? You walked. You tried to reach when everything was right there. You did not gain damage by breaking corner.
Yeah, I could have just shoot at the time. Yeah.
Correct. You could have even shot backline from there, actually, from the corner. They were right there. Just hold the corner. Same thing here. Wait a second and shoot. Just keep shooting. Just throw your alt fires. And now stand right here and use the cover of card. Nicely done. Good stuff. Use your bubble. Just almost perfect there. Much better. Almost. If you have two bubbles in that exact same engagement, then you're cooking. And I want to see some pressure on that Mei if she tries to push you too, rather than the Ramatra. Just keep doing damage. So she's going to have ult here, so I want you to be careful.
Ah!
It's alright. Back off here. You don't have a bubble. Nicely done. Very good. Very good. Very nicely done. Just hold this corner and keep shooting. And you can grab anything here that's not that Ramatra with Nemesis farm. Just stay on this corner. Keep doing damage. Just keep shooting. Keep shooting. Keep shooting. So you just toss it in the sky there.
Yeah.
Okay, you can grab this, I think, soon. Yeah, there you go. Right click that. Beautiful. You see how badly they wanted you, right? You just played your you play your distance and just shoot them, and they just melt. Like they just melt. All that for a drop of blood. Uh-oh. Run for your life. And hold the corner. Hold the corner. Nice. Just shoot Bob here. Hold the corner and do damage. Keep shooting shield. Burn, 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 burn. Nice. Now alt fire. Keep shooting. Just hold the corner. Hold the corner. Or payload, rather. Hold the corner and keep shooting. Sure. That's okay. It ended up being a Graviton and Ramattra, which kind of sucks. But again, the basic, whenever you push without bubbles, or whenever you walk into Ram unnecessarily, you lose cooldown trades, you lose HP, you lose your life, right? You just need to sit there and do damage. As long as you're doing damage on a corner, you don't need to do anything else. You only have to push if you can't reach anything. Like, you're going to turn this corner here, and you're just going to shoot Ram, or you're going to shoot Ashe. Just keep shooting. Just keep shooting. Nice. Now walk forward to the next corner, because they're too far away. And then keep shooting. Yeah. You can chase that, maybe.
Nah.
That's okay. Nicely done. Now keep shooting. You can't touch anything, so find something to shoot. Find something to shoot. Now stay here on the corner and just keep shooting. Good. That's a situation where you can definitely push. And that's it. Look at your damage. Look at your damage. Press tab. It's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Remember, the goal with Zarya is to do damage. Like, that's it. Like, you play in a corner and you do damage. Right?
Yeah, I think as I managed to do it, to stand in the corner safe and then just do damage, I saw that that works really well. But it was too often that I just ran into the open and just died.
Right, right. And the thing is, it's not that pushing is inappropriate all the time. Like, you did it there at the end, right? You saw Moira was one, no fade. You used a bubble to go get her. Even the Ashe there at the end of second, right? You pushed out to go chase her down, right? That's fine. That's totally fine. But I want a reason for that action. Right, I want a reason for that action, and so many times I found you swinging wide for no real benefit. Send me the replay code really fast. Let's take a look at this. Okay. Can you still see my stream?
I just have to click on your.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? Okay, that works as well, I think.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, hey, whatever works, works.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm talking about. Like, right here, you've even got a bit of an angle. Your team is here. This is perfect. If you are seeing things to shoot, right? There is no reason for you to move past this. I think okay, so this is kind of like the dynamics, okay? You look at something like how you utilize bubbles. Remember, it's action, right? You being pushed or you pushing. But that does not mean that you should abandon cover without reason. In other words, this right here, is unnecessary action. Do you see the difference here? Like maybe if you think that she doesn't have bubbles, you want to finish her off, that's fine. But here, there's no reason for you to, for example, walk in the open here and spam. Maybe if you thought the soldier was just stand here and spam. But the tricky part with you is sometimes it feels like there's an either extreme. Either you're doing nothing here, which is like, man, throw some alt fire, right? Like you just play the corner, or you're running into them. I want you to do damage, and I want you to do damage from a corner, and I want you to do damage constantly. This is good. This is bad.
This is not good.
What's happening is you're pursuing charge. You're looking for charge. Don't worry about it. It will come to you. You just keep doing damage, and they're going to have to shoot you. They're going to have to shoot you. And that's how you get charged, naturally. You sit here, you do damage, they're going to wall you. They're going to angle on you with a damage boosted Ash, or they're going to have a Forest spam in here, or their Ramatra's going to come here, or Ryan's going to swing. If you hold a good position to do damage, you don't need to look for charge. It will happen. Now, to give you credit, you take an action, and then bubble, which is what we were talking about in our review. And so it gets charged, right? That's really good. But the problem is that you take unnecessary damage because you leave the corner.
Cover. Yeah.
Like even here, there's no reason for you to peek this BAP if you're not shooting him. You could shoot him, but don't peek him otherwise. Just shoot the Zarya. If you want to peek this, then shoot the BAP. You don't need to swing that far from cover. You gain nothing outside of giving the Baptista something to shoot. Keep shooting, keep shooting. And this is one of those things where it's like, okay, the soldier's on the angle here. You need to bubble and run this guy down. I know you're thinking, oh, well, I thought that my team could do it. Well, you can reach him. That's the difference, right? Like if he was here, then there's nothing that you can do, right? But he is right there, right? You need to do so. And ultimately, like that's not the end of the world. Like if you lose to an angle because your team screwed it up, it's okay. Okay. And this is where I think it was just like the mid-fight shenanigans, right? You got a little bit overwhelmed. You couldn't really reach anything too. That's the difficult thing. They were doing a good job taking space on you. I mean, yeah, this is good. I mean, this is where mechanics comes into play, right? With the alternate fire and so on. But yeah. But then here, back to cover. Okay. This is where I wanted you to walk forward on the high ground because you had an active Bob, right? So just basically you have an ultimate, so walk forward with that ultimate. But you don't necessarily have to drop to do so. You can just walk here. You kind of see what I'm saying? Where this very
I was hesitant to give up the high ground. But
yeah, right. And I think you did.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to, right? Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, but I didn't thought about that.
Of course. You see something funny?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it happens again later too. Shoot. A minute, sure. Yeah. Okay. Keep going. This is just a positioning thing where I think, like, given the old situation, if you're here, it's a better spot. But it's more of a micro thing. I don't think it's a super important thing for you right now. Now, you did a really good job, I think, this one. I'm pretty sure this fight you played really well. This is exactly what I'm talking about with, like, bubbling action. You had to walk forward to this corner. To get there, you walk in the open. So you have to use a bubble so that you can do so, right? But now that you're here, there's no reason for you to swing this further. Wide. Right, exactly. You just need to sit here and shoot Zarya or shoot Soldier preferably because he's close. So what you do is you sit there and you shoot Soldier. He starts to shoot you a lot. You start to take damage and then you bubble. See? Look at your charge. Charge is very high. HP is actually still pretty high, right? He dies. Who should you shoot, right? Shoot Zarya, right? Shoot Zarya. She wastes bubble because she's not playing it on a corner. She's standing in the open. So she gets her bubble broken, does no damage with it, and then I say, okay, now you have bubble. Let's walk forward to the next corner so that we can stop cart. What do? You walk forward to the next corner. Now, this bubble was not good. This bubble needed to be a second
because
later.
Because I didn't take any chance.
Right, you didn't take any damage. Now, you might have gone, well, I thought I was taking damage. And to be honest with you, I think that was understandable. I don't think this bubble was terrible. I understand. And now you're on the next corner. Now who can shoot you right now? Nobody. It's just Zarya, right? So what do? You just shoot Zarya. Why? Because that's all you need to. Now you could have alternate fired Baptiste because he's also there. That would have been fine too. But this is also fine. But there's no reason to push here. There's no reason to push. The only, like I said, micro detail here is like this is where you can absolutely look at somebody else other than Zarya. But yeah, I mean, she's just going to melt. A little early with that bubble. You notice it? It's mid-fight, so I'm not going to give you a hard time because obviously this is like, we already knew this was a weakness with you. But you're just sitting on cover and shooting people, and then the only time you walk forward is when you see an opportunity to, or when you have a bubble. That Zarya on the alternative side of things was doing what you were doing earlier, where I just always have to push, right? I always have to push, right? But she could just have stood there in the corner and taken a trade with you.
Wait.
Right. As long as you're doing damage with your team, then it's fine. This is where I think high ground would have been your friend, definitely.
Yeah.
Just so that you have a little bit more consistent cover. But even then, like, as long as you're playing cover, even when things get really hectic, it's super easy. Okay, let's keep going. Sure. And this is a great example of, like, okay, so you peek to do damage, they blow you up, so you pop a bubble, and so you get a lot of charge. Honestly, you could have grabbed here. Maybe it's a little far forward in front of your team, but you could, even if you don't even get a kill here, you force so many CDs with this. But it's fine. You shoot, but by the way, you notice what you did? Are you on a corner? Yes. Right? Are you getting shot? Yes. Do you need a bubble? Yes. Look at the charge from the bubble, right? It gets charged. It works. Grab is fine. You stay in the corner. You pop your bubble to heal yourself, and then everybody dies. Good. Good. Let's keep going. Any questions so far?
No, I think I will be. What's the word? Training, stand in the corner, shooting at something.
Yeah,
for the next 2 weeks, because it sounds easy, but it is.
It is not. It is not. The hard part is going to be the powder ISO, where I can't reach anybody. What do I do? That's where you have to solve. Where you need to go upstairs. Right, you need to find somewhere to shoot, and obviously, where's the corner, right? And then also, this is a pretty tough situation too, because every corner feels like the Ramatra and May can just run you down. So you have to be super disciplined about which corner you take. Maybe you just play cart. Maybe you swing to this corner here and bait them to run into you and save both your bubbles, right? But the principle's still the same. And you could tell exactly when you die here before you actually die. You ready for it? You'll see it. You see it? You're dead. You're dead. Why?
Maybe because the May is behind me.
Well, not just that, but what rule have you broken, right? What have we been talking about? You see?
Yeah.
You just sit here and shoot. Or sit here even and shoot. Or sit on cart and shoot. I mean, look at where you are, right? Not just in relation to your team, but in relation to the wall.
Yeah.
It's too easy, right? You pursued...
I wanted to get charged, ran into the open. And,
right. And just you
bubble to get back.
Right, and you just being here shooting is going to force a response. They will push you, and then you will bubble, and then you will bubble again, and then you will win, right? Because like we're talking about, like if you live even 1 second longer here, you're gonna win this fight because your May gets a good wall. Your Moira and Mercy will be able to help you out. Just sit there and shoot. Like even here, just sit in the cart and shoot. So you're kind of looking for pressure there. And even there, you see you're looking for it. You're looking for it. Don't look for it. But as long as you're doing damage like you are right now, you will win this fight. So don't look for it even here. Just sit on the corner. You see how you push forward and you bubble early before you've taken any damage? Just sit here and 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 then bubble. You bubble half a second later there. You save yourself another 200 HP. 200 HP, you get your second bubble here, you force the ice block, you live, and so on and so on and so on. I could tell that this was very frustrating for you, but this is exactly what we're talking about with corner discipline.
Absolutely not. I like to see that because I never thought about it that way. Just sit somewhere where you can easily shoot at something, and then people will come to you. But it makes totally sense.
And that's really all Zarya is, and that's a lot of what tanking is. As long as you are outputting the maximum amount of pressure that you can, then you're going to force a response. And I think that's kind of like the idea, right? Like you don't have the mobility, but what you have is an unbelievable amount of damage and an unbelievably powerful response cooldown there. So just do damage. As long as you're doing damage with corner, then you don't need to worry about forcing engagement. And I think the reason why I think this is so important is Powder Issa was a great example of what do I do when I can't reach anybody, right? And this is a great example of what if they can reach me a little too easily. Okay, right? This is Rhine. This is Ramatra. This is May, Reaper, right? The rules still apply. It doesn't matter. If this guy was Reinhardt and he was standing right there, I would ask you to keep shooting Rhine and just keep shooting Rhine and keep shooting shield and keep shooting shield and keep shooting Rhine, keep shooting shield and keep shooting Rhine, keep shooting shield. At some point, he's going to have to do something because you're going to win that engagement. And the same thing happens with Ramatra. I don't care how good his staff looks. It's yours is better. Okay? Yours is better. That's just how it goes. So he has to do something. He has to push. And as long as you're being disciplined with your cover, he will lose. Early of the bubble, right? Now, obviously, we were not focused on this particular skill at this game, so it's okay. But this is where you were being a little bit more patient, right? See, the Mei is getting patient. She wants to do something. The Ram, look at the Ram's HP, right? He's getting toasted, right? He's getting frustrated. You can tell you're looking forward here a little bit, right? You want it. You're like, I want to do something. I want to do something. No. But notice, as soon as you're able to respond with bubbles, and take even here, right? Like look at this. Like, they want to get you. They want. Come on, we want to kill that. Rush down that Zarya. Look at that, right? It's insane.
Yeah, true.
It's so easy. It's so easy. The hardest part with Zarya, as we said early in the reviews, like, what if you can't reach people, right? But if you could reach people, there will always be an opportunity. This is beautiful, by the way. Just shoot shield, burn shield, burn shield. Play the corner, play the corner. Keep shooting, keep shooting. Probably shouldn't have fished with charge there. I think that was a mistake. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't think you needed it. I don't think you were taking damage. There was no action. Nobody was pushing you. Just keep shooting. And then, okay. It's pathetic. You know? And then you're like, well, now I want to do something silly because it's my turn, right? And then obviously, like, cataclysmic disaster for them, especially because you also had a bubble. So that was a situation where you could push. You absolutely could push. I was a little nervous here. You didn't know the rest of the team was here.
I was so frustrated.
I was like, get out, hold the corner and shoot. But this is another great fight of just like literally you just standing here and doing so much damage, right? You're not even taking that much damage. You know, you just did so much. Like, look at your ult charge, right? You've taken like 300, 400 damage total, and you've done like 700, 800, right? Just keep shooting. Same thing here. Just keep shooting. Just keep shooting. Just keep shooting. And this is where I got nervous. I was like, just hold the corner. Hold the corner. Hold the corner. You want to see something funny?
Yeah.
2.0. You ready for this?
What the fuck? Okay. Happens.
Yeah. I don't want to see your lack of cover being the reason that you use for a bubble, right? If you have to push forward to the next corner, that's okay. If you have to come out from spawn like you did here, that's okay. But if you don't have a reason to walk forward out of the open, I don't want that to be the reason that you had to pop bubble, because that's exactly what just happened now. Even here, right? Just literally a matter of inches, right? Or centimeters, right? Like, it's so close. And every time you swing wide, you take unnecessary damage, things get messy. Like right here, just stand here and shoot and keep shooting and keep shooting. All fire beam, I don't care.
Yeah.
And this is an interesting one because you're like, I'm gonna push.
I thought he was so low.
Well, okay, so this is the funny thing here. Okay, you ready for this one? The problem was not necessarily the grab. I mean, I think definitely not great, right? Okay. But the problem is this right here. Just stand here. Just stand here on the corner. You know, that's it. That's it. Just stand on the corner and keep shooting. And if you wanted to swing on an angle, you probably should have been here, right? Where at least you had cover, right? The problem is when you swing to push into an open space and things start to get really messy. Good. And I'm always like, next corner, next corner, next corner. Here you're like, I don't want a corner because somebody's won. Good choice. Yeah. Good choice. Good choice, right? And then again, I don't want a corner because somebody's low. Good choice, right? There's always exceptions to the rule, right? You want to see this? You want to see this blizzard? She has literally no idea who she's going for. Oh no, no,
think
no!
the
Where
fu-
are they? Go ahead.
The funny part is I do that with Sombra, sticking to a corner, because Sombra is so brittle, and
Yes.
because I'm playing a tank, I think I'm a tank. Yeah, but it is basically the same because everybody focuses you. It even works.
Everybody focuses you. So with great
Yeah,
power
yeah.
comes great responsibility. And so, what you have to do is you have to hold the corner, and then when you have a reason to push, you're able to. Right. Ultimately, the reason why the corner is so important is so that it allows you to do damage and keep doing damage and keep doing damage. And if you get pushed or if you want to push, you can. That's the reality of the situation. And this is not a Zarya specific thing. Obviously, that's what we're looking at today. But if you were to play Reinhardt, it's the exact same thing, right? It's not that you're not allowed to pin in. You absolutely are, but you do so from a corner to another corner, right? Ramattra, corner holding. Orisa, corner holding. Roadhog, corner holding. Winston, angle, corner holding, right? Even Wrecking Ball, you want to come from cover to cover, preferably, right? Especially when playing versus CC. I mean, that's just the fundamentals of first-person shooters. Don't take unnecessary damage if you could be doing something else, right? The problem is that people either prioritize cover but don't do damage because they just don't peek, right? Or they stand in the open and they do nothing but take damage. So for you, let's take some notes. Zarya, play corner, do damage, pursue positions that allow you to do consistent pressure, then don't worry about it. High ground maps, get to high ground. Low ground maps, I don't care. Play in the corner. Shoot. Whether it's Ryan, Ram, Winston, Diva, Torbjorn, Widowmaker. So that's the thing is, if you're playing into a full sniper comp and a Wrecking Ball, right, you are going to be flanking because you have to do damage. There's nothing to shoot, so go find something, right? But do so with cover, all right? React with bubble. Don't predict unless major source of burst damage like Widow headshot. There's always an exception to the rule, right? But you want to make sure that there is a commitment from the enemy team onto you, and so you react appropriately. That way you can maximize your charge. Okay? Mechanics.
Yeah, cool.
Finish with alt fire. Clip. Open with alt fire. Burst. Not always the case, but most of the time. It's a good habit to practice. And you can go into a game and actually just, you think about how stressful this game was. Imagine if this game, your entire goal, literally the entire goal was just to practice ending with an alt fire. Your clip. That's it. The entire game. That's all you were doing. That'd be a little less stressful, right? You wouldn't really worry about positioning. You wouldn't worry about your angle. You just kind of finish with alt fire. Well, good. Do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
I really like your sort of coaching. It is really simplifying it to something you can actually act on next time. I really
Good.
like that.
I'm glad. I know it was very overwhelming during the live coaching. I'm still practicing on doing a better job of that on my end. So I apologize if it was a little too much. No, I don't. I don't think so. I think it's stressful, right? And I think you did a fine job. And I think the more that we did it, the better, more of a groove that we got into. But ultimately, that's kind of like that level of intensity towards the end, where it's not quite overwhelming, but you are being pushed. That's kind of what I want you to hold yourself to whenever you're whenever you're training, right? Am I really doing damage? Where do I need to be? What corner am I on? Or am I really ending with alt fire? Or am I reacting with bubble? Right? I want you to take one of these four things that we listed and really deliberately train it hard. Push yourself hard. Let the other stuff go, but push yourself hard with these things. And I think that that's the best way to progress. Now, you may not be able to do that for long. You certainly won't be able to do that for long. But even just a couple games of that level of intensity, that goes a long way.
Cool.
Now, if you do have a composition or a map where you feel really lost, just send me a screenshot and I'll let you know. But ultimately, nothing really changes, whether you're playing versus snipers or Reinhardt. The only difference is what corner you choose. Reinhardt, you play with a tiny bit of distance so that you could just shoot his shield and burn and burn and burn and burn and burn and burn and burn. And then versus a Widowmaker or the snipers or anything that you can't really reach, you do have to be more creative with how you close the distance.